Hello there, and I'm Olanrewaju Kolawole. Thank you very much to the leadership of Avicenna International Schools for the opportunity to be here and to interact with the children on the subject of reading. Firstly, I would like to define reading. Reading is an art or the process of making a sense of writings in a document or a book. Reading is very powerful and there are many benefits of reading. Today, I just want to share with you a few benefits of reading. Number one benefit of reading is that reading sharpens the mind. Just like you use a razor blade to sharpen a pencil, reading sharpens the mind. It allows your mind to be able to focus and pick the relevant information in a situation and even in a document, in a book as you read. Reading expands your imagination. There are certain books when you read, it would be as though you are there because of the things that the author is saying and how he is describing it. Reading takes you on a journey from where you are in your mind to somewhere else that is great, somewhere far away. Reading takes you from the present and sometimes into the past and at other times into the future. So reading sharpens the imagination. Number two, reading helps you to cultivate critical thinking. Reading helps you to cultivate critical thinking. Somebody has rightly said that he who cannot read is not different from he who does not read. That means that a human being that has books but does not read them is not different from a man that is blind that cannot read. So reading helps you to cultivate critical thinking. Number three, reading motivates you for success. You want to be a doctor, you want to be a lawyer, you want to be an engineer, you want to be a pilot, you want to be a great man, you want to be a great woman in the future. You want your life to be relevant, to make an impact, to be successful. Reading helps you to achieve this because it motivates you for success. For example, if you read what is called biographies, biographies are books that contain stories of great men and women. Stories of people like Benjamin Franklin, Isaac Newton, Michael Faraday, Corrie ten Boom, Condoleezza Rice, Abraham Lincoln. When you read about the lives of these great men, you are inspired because you learn from their stories. So, number one, reading sharpens your imagination. Number two, reading helps you to cultivate critical thinking. Number three, reading motivates you for success in life. Number four, reading educates you beyond your locality. Reading educates you beyond your locality, meaning does not matter where you live. Reading helps you to learn about people, about politics, about culture of different places. For example, I've not been to America before, but I've learned certain things about America because I've read about it. I've not been to South Africa before. I've read about the apartheid. I've read about Nelson Mandela and other activities in his days. Why? Because I read about it. So reading is very great because it educates you beyond your locality. Number five, reading connects you with great minds. Reading helps you to be sharpened mentally because you are interacting with great people. The shelf behind me is, part of my study, and there are many books there. And the interesting thing is that 85% of the authors of this book, if not 95, I've never met them in person. Some of them I've interacted with, maybe online, but many of them I've not met in person. And their works continue to bless me. Sometimes when I'm reading their books, it's as though they are talking to me. That's what reading does to you. People you cannot meet physically, you get to hear from them because of the things they have written, the wisdom that they have documented for you. Number six, Reading improves your brain power. Reading sharpens your brain. It boosts your brain power. There is a part in the human head that is called your cerebral column. That is your gray matter. That is your brain. There are many people, scientists have found out, psychologists, that human beings use a very minimal percentage of our brains. And part of the reason is because many people prefer social media than spending time reading good books. So reading improves your brain power. You become more intelligent than those who do not read. Number 7, reading helps your use of English. It helps you to speak well because you get to learn new vocabularies. Reading helps you to speak well. It helps your use of English, your use of grammar. It helps your vocabulary because as you read, the authors of those books will begin to use words that you may not be used to before. For example, somebody says suddenly, somebody says franchise, somebody says marketplace, somebody says disabuse. You begin to search, what does that mean? While I was a young boy, I used to use the word flabbergasted. I did not know what it meant until after some time. I went to read about it and I found out, oh, this is what it meant. There are some people who think that certain words are bad words, whereas those words are actually good. But because they have not read, they do not know the meanings of those words. Number 8, reading helps you to be disciplined. Somebody has said an unexamined life is not worth living. An indisciplined life is a burden. Because when you have a book and there are chapters in the book, you want to dedicate time to read maybe a chapter per week or a chapter per day, depending on your own personal schedule. Now, reading helps you to be disciplined because while you're reading, you need to pay attention to what the writer is saying so that you do not misinterpret what he's trying to tell you. So reading helps you to be disciplined. It helps you to set goals and achieve them. It's always beautiful when I'm done reading a book and I drop the book because I've achieved the goal and then I can pick up another book. Now I'll give you the final point. Readers are leaders. There is no great leader in the world today that is not a reader. It is important to give yourself to reading because when you begin to read, you are on the path to greatness. And somebody may ask, but how do I know the books to read? Ask your teachers. Ask people who you see as mentors, who you see as role models, who live good lives. They can advise you on good books to read. Ask your parents who also have a library. What book can I start with? And then as you do that, you begin to also grow and you will know the right books to read. So these are some of the benefits of reading. Happy World Book Day and thank you very much.